Congratulations! It is officially Wednesday and you have made it halfway through the week. Reward yourself with a good pat on the back and a good nap. That being said, here I am again, and I wanted to get back onto the autism train. Can I call it that? I know we've been talking about a lot of different topics on this channel. Like, we've been doing some movies, talking about Asperger's, stuff like that, and it will probably branch off into more nonsense as we go. But I wanted to circle back to autism because, again, there is a whole list of things I did want to talk about. And there is one concept that did come back around to me that I didn't actually think about for a very long time. And it's a particular term. And it's something that I've been doing. It's something that a lot of autistic people do. But you don't really attribute that word to it. It's like, oh, I'm actively doing it right now as I'm going in this very moment. The term is called masking. And what is masking? I mean, this has nothing to do with my literal masking video when I showed off my mask collection. At least in the world of autism, masking is effectively when you go out into the world and you try to look as neurotypical as possible. You move a certain way, you speak a certain way, you act a certain way, to, kind of blend in. So, like, when you're on the job, when you're hanging out with friends, when you're going out to eat, going grocery shopping, or just doing any mundane daily task. But then the other side of masking is when the mask comes off. You come home and you are yourself. You're able to let loose and do what you gotta do to feel more within your own skin. And after I heard that word again in another meme, for some reason, Instagram's a wild place, I was thinking about that word for a few days, and I thought that it's not really a uniquely autistic thing. It's something that everybody does. Like, going back to my philosophy roots, hey, that's another thing we talk about on this channel. One philosopher that I studied is Judith Butler, who was very concerned about gender roles and things of that nature. But there are certain concepts within what she was explaining that actually branches out to other matters that are not uniquely gender or sex-based. And she brought up a really interesting term that I think relates perfectly to masking, which was performativity. And effectively that means when you go out into the world, you act and move in a certain way to play a role as if you were on a stage play. And that's what we do. Like, if you think of yourself as a big old macho guy, which I definitely do not for myself, then that's something that you do when you're out there. And the same thing goes when you're autistic. When you're autistic, you want to go out there and you don't want to raise a big red flag showing off that you are who you are, potentially. So you might want to button up certain little intricacies or nuances or eccentricities so people don't notice. So with all that being said, the most important precedent being that I don't believe that masking is uniquely for autistic people, I did want to go over just a quick little list I wrote up literally minutes ago of just 5 things that I mask personally that you would not see me doing in the wild. So the first thing that I do in my humble abode, being my apartment, but not outside when I'm at work or with family or friends, is I talk to myself a lot. Like, I have full friggin' dialogues with nothing. So I'm, like, walking around my apartment, I'm talking about each little movement and every step I'm taking, and I even talk to objects. I talk to my art as if they're my children, because they're my children. I made them, I designed the characters and everything, and sometimes I need feedback, I need criticism, and I refer to them as if they are actually other physical beings that are within my vicinity who I can converse with. And sometimes I even try taking on the identities of the characters that I'm working with. I try speaking out loud dialogues that they would be having with each other. And that can go from anywhere from like 5 minutes to half an hour. It can really go. And I think it's a really useful tool. I mean, no matter how in which way you frame it, again, this is not a uniquely autistic thing. This can branch out to any type of person, whether you're neurodiverse or neurotypical. Self-talk is such an important thing for us to do. Like, in the way I view it, it allows us to look at our perspectives and our viewpoints and kind of keep ourselves in check, be constantly questioning ourselves to see if we're in the right or in the wrong, morally, based on our understanding of morals. But I guess speaking on behalf of at least this one autistic individual here, because we're all different, of course, when I speak to those voices, I like to give them names, faces, a form I can imagine in my head, so it's not just me, it's not a totally one-sided conversation. It makes the conversation, the dialogue, more legitimate if there's another name in the show, if you get what I mean. The second thing that I mask when I'm in public that I do constantly when I'm alone. Again, not just for autistic people. I swear like a sailor. Like, I could give you an example. Like, sometimes I could be sitting there, I'm like, what the is going on with my leg? It fell asleep and I can't feel my leg. I can't go anywhere anymore. The food's over there, but I don't feel like getting it, so what the am I supposed to do? Yeah, that's going to be an editing nightmare for me. But that's just a shorthand example, not a genuine one. I just made that up on the fly. I'm actually very full, thank you. I had a good set of Hot Pockets before starting this video. Obviously, it's something you're not going to do in public unless you're a New Yorker or something. But I think the reason why I do it anyways is it's a venting system. It's a way to push out all the garbage that's going on in my head. And actually, funny story, my psychiatrist, when I first met him, when I was first diagnosed, one of the first things he ever asked me is, do you swear? And I said no, because obviously when you're in high school, you're not allowed to talk or breathe or eat or anything. And then, like, what? A decade after my diagnosis, roughly, I swear fine, no problem. But I filter it, I mask it, so that way I'm able to operate in public and not look like a total jerk, you know? Like, if I'm ever swearing, it's never to be offensive or be rude. Like, I don't do it on my YouTube channels because it's just not necessary. It's not helpful for the context in which I'm explaining a thing. So that's why I don't do it there. But when I'm on my own, forget it. I'm totally unhinged. I'll go. That's kind of a segue into my third thing, which is kind of just accompanying two things together. I laugh very loudly, and I sing very badly. Of course, like anybody else, I love to have music wherever I go, or at least a lot of people. Some people don't. But I love booming up my speaker over there, thanks, Dad, and that allows me to play all my good music when I'm here on my own. I love my industrial music, I love dark wave, I also dip into the 80s once in a while. So, yeah, sometimes I sing on my own, and that is not a uniquely autistic thing, as we've been talking about. But also, when I am alone, my laugh volume goes way up. You might have noticed that I chuckle quite periodically throughout this channel, and it's sort of a way for me to sort of punctuate a funny little point, or if I find something remotely amusing. But in reality, it's just a nice, what I call an exhaust. Same thing with the swearing, but kind of for the opposite feelings. If I'm really pissed off or stressed, that's when I swear. Or if I'm feeling very whimsical or excited, then that's where the laughing comes into play. And I laugh really loudly, very intimidatingly. I have like different types of laughs for different situations. I couldn't tell you how many or what those situations are, but it always comes out different. Fourth thing here on this list, I stretch like a German pretzel when no one's looking. Again, I feel like everyone does that, but you know, like, people crack their knuckles. I can do that right now if I want. But then, like, I got a whole couch. I got a whole bed. I will go in full cat mode to be sure I roll every cracking bone in my body so I feel nice and I'm cozy. But obviously, it's something that you're not going to want to do while you're in your cube at a job in your nice suit and everything, right? That's a simple little one, not a whole lot more to explain there. The fifth thing that I do, and the last thing I could really think of for this particular topic, is I move faster than I typically do in public. For those of you who don't know me, if there's anyone who knows me who watches this channel, and you've seen me, I move quite slowly. I take my time when I'm out there, but not when I'm in my apartment. I move quite quick. I'm a creature of efficiency. I like to move like that, get things done in the most effective way possible. For example, I've got my entrance to my apartment right there. Over there, got the bathroom, and then over there, I got my bedroom. So the entrance to my apartment is equidistant between the bathroom and the bedroom, roughly. And I am this freaking tedious. I'll come in, like, let's say I picked up a new prescription for my meds at Walgreens or something like that, and I lay them down, like, at the midway point, right? And then I also need to refill my little med thing with a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, in my bedroom, but I keep the majority of my meds in the bathroom. What's my next move? Like, I could literally give you the whole process right now. I'm like, well, I need to get my other meds from the bathroom, so I'm going to grab those, bring them into the middle. Then I'm also going to go into the bedroom, get my med capsule, and bring it into here. So that way I got all my meds, old and new, together, along with the capsule. Fill everything up, click, 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 like all those little capsules for each day. Then I'm going to, I think, take the meds that I don't currently need, bring them into the bathroom, then I'm going to take my capsules and then move them into the bedroom, and then I'm done. Notice how that whole process could have been a few steps longer if I opted to take those full capsules and leave them where they were, bring back the new meds, come back here, and I'm like, oh, I got those old meds too, and I'm bringing those back. And then I come back, I get the capsules, and then I'm like, oh, now I need to bring these back into the bedroom. Like, not in the autistic headspace. You want to find the most efficient point to getting from point A to point B, even if you're just in your abode. So I'm really that anal about it. No matter what move I'm making in my apartment, I always try thinking about what is the most efficient and quick way to do it. Another example is when I get ready for the morning, I don't. What I do is the evening prior, I get my new outfit set up for work. I set it down on the table. Then I also get my ring, I get my bracelet, I put that down next to it, along with my socks. I put those on top of the outfit. So that way when I wake up, put on the pants, put on the shirt, do whatever I gotta do, get my wallet and my keys in my pocket, because those are there too. Everything is all consolidated in one place, ready to go. But when I'm out there and I'm not masking, the world isn't as organized as I am. Things are going to be more haphazard, things are going to be more chaotic. There's other people moving your things or things you're familiar with around, so you need to improvise. And I guess that could be something as simple as, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go on this very floor in my job, and I'm going to go there. And there might be a cleanup crew that's kind of cleaning up the bathrooms with Lysol or whatever, doing what they need to do. And then there's some aspies who would crash and burn right there because that's the bathroom that they wanted to go to. I've been in that place before when I was younger. When I was before I was diagnosed, I would have not been in a good headspace if that were to happen. But nowadays, I'm better at going like, okay, this bathroom occupied right now, I'm going to go downstairs and go to the other one. That's a more efficient path rather than sitting there and waiting or hitting the ground on my knees and rolling around back and forth because I don't know what to do. So that's it. Those are at least 5 things that I mask when I am out in public. Things that I would do no problem in my apartment, but I would not do out there. Once again, not unique to neurodiverse folks. This can also apply to neurotypical people like you or whoever. So, I don't know, it's just an interesting topic. As an additional little bonus round, let me know in the comments, what is something that you mask? What is something that you do at home that you would never do in public? Like something that isn't like illegal or anything, but just a little nuance, something a little tedious that you wouldn't want anyone else seeing you doing. And definitely load up those comments. It gives me an idea of what type of material I would like to be creating for this channel and what else I want to be talking about. So comments are very important and they do help me out a great deal. That's all I got. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of your week.